Welcome back. Welcome back. This is part 2 on the Lil Nas X case. And without talking or taking up too much of your time so we can finish this out, let's go ahead and get started.
King. B.
I'm your host. I'm your host, KingFelipe, and this is Top Music Ent Pod Show.
Yeah.
You know I love it.
Maze, there was so much racial backlash that the Country Music Channel had to wipe Beyonce's performance away from their social media accounts. So that's a clear sign that country music fans and a lot of people in the country music industry only want certain artists to infiltrate their spaces. There have been some people of color who have made it in country music, but for the most part, it's very rare that you see any black artists really get represented in country music. There's an R&B singer named K. Michelle who actually grew up on country music, but she was always convinced that she couldn't make country music because she was a black woman. It wouldn't be profitable for her to...
K. Michelle, Memphis, Tennessee, black, automatically makes her a part of country music. In my opinion,
she's from the South,
and realistically, but K. Michelle, Atlanta House, Love and Hip Hop, K. Michelle, Ratchet K. Michelle, of course, especially after
being on Love and Hip Hop,
that, and after she made a name on that platform, like really no, they ain't having it. Now, hopefully, now they will. And it's kind of unfortunate for K. Michelle because I don't know if a lot of people are not like me when it comes to music. Like I can't wait to hear K. Michelle country music because I've always felt like K. Michelle voice alone is country music. I mean, she grew up off country music. She got a scholarship for FAMU for yodeling, a very, very popular style of singing in country music. But K. Michelle, and I'm not saying that, I'm just saying, speaking from their point of view, K. Michelle, cause see, they got ratchet, but they got what you call white folk ratchet, you know what I'm saying, and K. Michelle, that's just too ratchet. That's too like it's a difference between white folk. Ratchet is ratchet. You know what I'm saying? Like hillbilly and rednecks and country. That's ratchet. That's just as ghetto and hood as we are growing up in the South or growing up wherever in the hood or whatever like that. But hey, K. Michelle, man.
In country music, which is why she was boxed in the R&B category.
You could definitely sing a country song if you wanted to. You ever thought about doing that?
I'm not doing anything but that after this because that's what I grew up on.
Good job, okay.
Like, I got a scholarship for yodeling. The first tape I ever got was the Judds. And they just send black women to Urban AC with a smaller, demographic of listeners. I'm just kind of like, I gotta sing what I want to sing.
And you want to do country?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Okay, I'm excited because I actually saw K. Michelle live twice in one day. Me and her actually took pictures together. We talked briefly. I sent her one of my songs to listen to, and it was a good experience. But I saw her live one day, and I criticized her performance. Not saying that she couldn't sing, because K. Michelle can sing, and she has an amazing voice. But the reason why I criticized her performance, because like a week later, I went to see Ja Rule and Ashanti, and Ashanti was amazing. And this is someone who get criticized a lot for her vocals. And largely the difference was Ashanti, financially, you can just see the difference. Ashanti's stage presence, her whole production was just Wait.
And I don't mean to just say, okay, financially you can see the difference, but at the same time, and this is for like a whole nother conversation or video, whatever. But at the same time, you could tell the growth that Ashanti has had and the work that she's put in. Like, she was on Broadway. I'm pretty sure she got a lot of vocal training, which I know she did, and just got better and more comfortable on stage. So her stage presence and her voice and everything was better because she had been taught how to be a performer. Because let's not forget, Ashanti started out as a songwriter that could sing. She just had to work on her craft. And K Michelle, she was singing to a track, which she's already like a shouter type singer, and that caused her to sing over the track, which she was screaming even more. And that's what made it not so pleasing to the ear. Not saying that she was terrible, because by far she wasn't terrible at all.
Better than K Michelle because she has that money. She's been in the game way longer, and you know she's able to do that. K Michelle was still singing with the I don't know if it was pre-recorded or not, but she was still singing along with the record, which K Michelle already screamed like get really high. So I think singing, especially with a song like "Missing You is way too hard," singing records like that, she's singing over herself. That she's singing with the track and she's trying to scream louder, and it was just a lot of off keys and stuff like that. And that's what I was criticizing about K Michelle. It wasn't about her ability to actually sing. It just was the whole presentation of it. Like, if K Michelle had backup singers, that's what I was saying. Like, Ashanti had backup singers and stuff like that. I'm like, K Michelle had backup singers, then it would have been a whole lot better, and this, that, and the third. This right here, watching these little clips, it just proved to me that I was right, for one, because I think I see backup singers on the stage. Maybe not. Maybe I'm reaching. But even still, she's more comfortable right here. This is definitely her element. You can just see, and I'm not saying she's not comfortable singing her records, because she is. I mean, the crowds, you feed off the crowd, and the energy was definitely there. But I just think this is more her comfort zone right here, this country music thing. There is backup singers
like Jimmy
I saw
Allen
one.
and another country singer named Mickey Guyton, who is a great country singer. However,
I don't know her.
She doesn't really get a lot of recognition.
You better sing, girl. Wait a minute, I gotta check her out. Yes, Mickey Guyton. Yes.
So, as you can see, there have been people of color trying to do country music. However, it's really hard for black artists to really be successful in country music. And I find this interesting because country music was originally a black art form.
Ooh,
and this is the history that they won't acknowledge.
Wait a minute.
But country music...
Did you hear what she said? Now we are getting somewhere. Did you hear what she said? Country. Didn't I tell y'all that? Didn't I tell y'all that in the beginning? Now we getting somewhere. So, first of all, we getting to a part of the video. Like I said, I didn't finish watching the video. We've already gotten to the part that I stopped at. It'd been like 5-15 minutes ago. But I didn't even know that she was going to go all deep like this. I don't even know how deep she's going to go, but I feel like I know where she's going, and I'm ready to take this journey with her. Did y'all hear what the girl just said? I'm going to rewind it. That's why I love the Empressive channel. Like, I love her channel. It's like one of the best channels on YouTube, hands down, man. I got to listen. Look, I'm so excited. I hate when I get this excited. I sound like I can't comprehend, or present or talk overall. Like, I tongue twisted all of that. I just hate being this excited and trying to do a show. But at the same time, I want to give it to y'all real and raw, and this is me. But I want y'all to really catch what she just said.
Country music. And I find this interesting because country music was originally a black art form. and this is the history that they won't acknowledge. But country music has African roots.
With the arrival of slaves to America in the 17th century came the blending of many cultures.
There's a very thin line between the music of the slave and the music of the slave master.
Say that, Arsenio.
I'm actually going back and listen to old African chants that are...
That's Arsenio Hall talking. Listen to what he's saying. Please listen.
There's a very thin line between the music of the slave and the music of the slave master. I've actually gone back and listened to old African chants that are actually note for note songs in America 200 years ago.
Many historians believe the modern-day banjo is most closely linked to the African lute instrument called the akontim.
The akontim? What?
It wasn't until the Gibson Company comes along and does the 5-string and the 5th string.
Did y'all hear what Arsenio said?
String and the 3-finger Scruggs roll that we get it like it is today. But it was an instrument that came out of Africa.
After slavery, America entered into its Reconstruction period. As former slaves spread across the country, so did their music.
By the time slaves were freed, and then even later in the 1920s ex-slaves began to move north in mass numbers.
The division of hillbilly versus race was predicated simply and almost exclusively on a kind of racial hierarchy, that this belongs over here to the black folk, this belongs to the white folk.
That's what they did.
String bands basically are the link between the really rural music that people were playing in their earliest days in this country and the later music that became known as country.
So you heard that. African slaves were actually the creators of the banjo, which is a staple stringed instrument in country music.
Yes, it is.
There were a lot of slave musicians who played for their masters and created various sounds, which would later on birth genres like the blues, jazz, folk, gospel, and country music. Now the blues,
jazz, folk, gospel, and country music. In that order.
Get into it.
In that order. But we can't be a part of country music? Child, please. Get the fuck out of here.
Country music have close ties, considering the genres like the blues, jazz, folk, gospel, and country music. Now the blues and country music have close ties, considering that both of these genres use similar sounds. And the blues in particular became a very important genre in American music because it opened up the door for country music, folk music, rock and roll music, and R&B music. Without the blues, none of those genres could exist. And the blues, of course, was created by African Americans, which did inspire white Americans to use...
Okay, did what you just hear what she said? The blues was created by African American. Country music originated from the blues. I told you already that many consider, even many white people consider country music the white form of blues music, the right version of blues music. Listen to what my girl at the Empressive channel said. Just in case you missed it, I want you to hear it again.
Blues, none of those genres could exist. And the blues, of course, was created by African Americans, which did inspire white Americans to use their sound.
She said the blues was created by African American, which inspired white Americans to use their sound. And before then, she basically said that the blues is pretty much the creator of pretty much all music, R&B, gospel, all of that. And without the blues, none of those different style, different genre of music would exist. One of my biggest thing right now, and I was watching, and I just got to say this before we get started, but I was watching this guy, shout out to old boy over at BrandMan What is it, BrandMan Stan? I think this is BrandMan Sean. He got a great channel, especially if you're an artist. Y'all should follow BrandMan. I'm going to put his link below so y'all can check him out. Especially inspiring upcoming artists. He gives great tools that you can use as an artist. But he was basically saying, you know, about talking to artists that want to be a diverse artist and work, like, be considered a pop artist and this, that, and third, and how damaging it could be to try to spread yourself so wide.
And I agree.
And basically, you know, like, certain artists who want to do pop and R&B and hip-hop and stuff like that, like, you should really stick with one style and focus on that until you create a name for yourself and then venture off. My big thing is, because I'm a writer, and I've been doing this for over 20 years as far as writing music, and I love all different type of genre of music. And at the end of the day, I'm really not big on categorizing my sound or whatever. I consider myself an artist, period, and I do music. I love music. So to me, I try to, which I know that it is there. I know that the categories are there, and you know, I acknowledge it because I'm only human, and it's there. But when I get into my little imaginary, secret, sacred place, I see no division. I see no categories. At the end of the day, it's all music to me. And I really hate that we have to separate music, because music is music.
You got white blues, which is country music.
Oh my God. Let me rewind, because I was talking. Listen to what she just said. This
created by African Americans, which did inspire white Americans to use their sound.
You got white blues, which is country music.
You got white blues, which is country music.
Not only created the musical sounds, but they also created the melodies. A lot of times when black slaves, black sharecroppers, and black prisoners were working in the field, they were singing. Singing was a way for them to let out their pain and their woes, and it was also a way for them to cope with the harsh racist society that they were living in. And a lot of the songs they sang later on became actual recordings in the studio. It was a common practice for record manufacturers to go down south and listen to the songs that black field workers were singing.
It was a common factor for record.
Common practice. Get into it. Common practice.
I said it wrong. It was a common practice for record manufacturers to go down south
and still
and listen to these melodies that these slaves would be in the field humming and singing, and go back to their lab and create, well, pretty much take those melodies and create them into a song. I mean,
not create them.
They've been taken from us forever. This go all the way back to inventions and stuff like that. But we ain't gonna get into that. Let's stick to what the topic at hand, and this is Lil Nas X and country music.
And listen to the songs that black field workers were singing. Then they would take those melodies and actually re-record them. Also, a lot of the earlier country western songs were originally sung by black cowboys, but they never got credit for it.
John Lomax had grown up in Texas. In 1933, he and his son Alan received a grant from the Library of Congress to motor through the South, visiting big penitentiaries to make recordings.
What? People have written that my grandfather, for example, was obsessed with the prisons and that he wanted to capture something isolated, but he wanted to find the oldest material, which is a very important thing to do. It's like archaeology. It was very scientific.
No, that's
so when you look at country music, oftentimes you won't see black people credited for being the inspiration and the pioneers of country music. Of course. And that is really largely due to the fact that black people have been written out of country music history. One of the country music pioneers that you never hear about is DeFord Bailey.
Okay, DeFord Bailey. Let's rewind. I need to write his name down because I never heard of him. I'm going to have to check him out. Like I said, you can learn something new every day, and I'm no stranger or against learning and being taught new things. I love knowledge. I'm very, very open to new things, and I don't know everything. I don't portray to know everything, so I'm glad that this is why I love the Empressive channel. You learn something or whatever. Most of it I know, a lot of it I don't, so I'm gonna have to definitely check him out. In my mind, I was, crediting Chuck Berry, but still, Chuck Berry is still
legendary,
a good person to give good credit to, as far as with country music and rock and roll, and he's definitely an important piece of music history.
Largely due to the fact that black people have been written out of country music history. One of the country music pioneers that you never hear about is DeFord Bailey. DeFord Bailey was a harmonica player who had a very unique sound. DeFord Bailey was a harmonica player who had a very unique sound.
DeFord Bailey, Fox Chase in the Pan American Blues.
He played the harmonica in a way that was imitating the sound of a moving vehicle or a moving train. His fresh new sound was all the rave in the 1920s, and people would love to listen to him during their barn dances. In the 1920s, DeFord made his claim to fame by performing weekly on this country radio show called the Grand Opera, or what they call...
There's got to be something that happened, and I hope she get into that, because for me to never have heard of DeFord Bailey, and like I said, I don't claim to know everything. It's a lot that I still can learn, and I'm loving this. I may even do a whole segment on DeFord Bailey once I study him. But that for it to not be as accessible, just like that, as far as with the music history, him as a person, for me to haven't ran across none of his work or his name ever, there has to be a reason why, other than the fact that they take everything from us. I feel like there's something missing. As to the reason why I haven't ran across his material. What's going on? Why was he pretty much erased? Because I feel like he has a whole legacy to be explored, and there has to be a reason why his work and his creativity and his whole legacy, all of his accolades, was pretty much watered down in music history.
The Barn Dance Show. DeFord played so well that he actually inspired the radio host to change the name of the show to the Grand Ole Opry.
Wow.
To this day, the Grand Ole Opry is a historical country music site where country artists perform on stage weekly. DeFord's harmonic sounds was very influential on country music, but sadly he would not receive the recognition that he deserved. There were multiple reasons for this, but the biggest reason is radio stations and venues were going through a huge financial dispute with ASCAP. ASCAP was requiring venues to pay fees for the use of copyrighted music. To avoid paying fees, the Grand Ole Opry required their artists to perform new music under another corporation called BMI.
Yes,
DeFord Bailey
was
pressured by the Grand Ole Opry Company to perform new music under BMI, but he didn't. He was told by his management to stick to his old songs. And the sad thing was, he wasn't paid properly for the songs he was playing. Eventually, DeFord Bailey was fired by the Grand Ole Opry, and after he was fired, he kind of vanished into obscurity. His legacy went unrecognized in music history, but his harmonic sound was very influential on country music as a whole.
What a wonderful man this man has made.
Oh, I can't wait to do my research.
It almost disappeared. In a way, he did disappear.
Oh, wow. Did you hear her? Listen.
D4's legacy.
A legend. It almost disappeared. In a way, he did disappear.
God dang, man. That's just sad to
D4's
hear.
legacy includes only a few recordings, most captured in the last few years.
That's just sad, man. I'm so sick of this advertisement. I'm sorry, y'all.
What's going on, James here? I'm coming to you
For most
my
of us,
backyard.
we don't really pay for that.
In the last couple of years,
But let's get this video.
I make a lot of money online. I've made over
Few years of his life by friend David Morton.
Racism makes ignorant people out of all of us.
You better say that.
We don't know history.
You better say
And I
that.
think that D4 Bailey's memory is a victim of that. I think D4 Bailey haunts the country industry right now at the level of trying to make the industry view itself holistically rather than partially. If he remains a footnote in history, then a similar crime would be to put Benny Goodman, a white jazz player, as a footnote in jazz history. You can't do that. He's more than a footnote.
The reason why I brought up D4 Bailey's story is because I wanted to bring up an example of how black pioneers in country music have been largely overlooked. Most people don't know the story of D4 Bailey and how he has influenced the sound of country music. And you have to ask yourselves, why? Why is that? The reason why is because people of color have been pushed out of the country music spaces. Even the late, great Ray Charles had a whole country western music album.
I never knew
but
that.
Country radio stations refused to play it because the gatekeepers of country music...
Right. For a man as smart as Ray Charles not only and especially James Brown, those were some very, very powerful men, business-wise and everything, man. It's sad. I did not know Ray Charles had a whole country album. I never knew that.
Did not want outsiders or too many people of color infiltrating the country music spaces. So fast forward to today. Here you have a rapper named Lil Nas X, who is a black kid who is really on the verge of breaking another barrier in country music. Now, he might not be what people consider a traditional country artist, but his song Old Town Road is acceptable enough to be considered a country song in today's music. So I don't believe that his song should have been taken off the Billboard country charts. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, tell me what you all think about this video down below. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you care. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Y'all, please go holler at her, man. I love the Empressive channel. That was a great video, and that was very educational and a ride, a roller coaster ride for me with my emotions. Man, I'm just saying, how much we got to deal with. How hard do we have to fight to get back what's rightfully ours? I would love to know your thoughts and opinion. Go ahead, holler at me. Subscribe to this channel if you're on YouTube. Follow me if you listen to it on any type of pod show platform. And not only that, man, go holler at old girl at the Empressive channel. She's really dope. She's really talented. Once again, I thank you. I appreciate you. The love and support. My kings and queens, remember your worth. Value your worth. Know that you were born kings and queens. Until next time, support each other. Love each other. Let's take care of each other. Let's get it in, man. I'm your host, KingFelipe. And this is Talk Music Ent Pod Show. And until next time, thank you. You know I love it. And until next time, man, y'all stay blessed, my royal family.